Hi, I'm Jelena,
And I'm David.
and welcome to our YouTube channel.
Yes. Welcome. Blah.
What are we doing today?
Today, we are doing the jump into Bakasana B position from Ashtanga's intermediate series.
This is the one that humbles a lot of people.
Yeah, people don't like this one. That's why you need a tutorial, jumping into Bakasana. We have another tutorial. It's in the intermediate playlist, and we'll also make a link to it here on Bakasana, straight arms. That is Bakasana, the straight arm balance. We can do it quickly now here. And then in Ashtanga, we have Bakasana A and B. So we're going to be looking at B when you have to jump into it without your feet touching the floor. But before we tell you anything,
Make sure you subscribe, you comment, and you like this or any of the other videos.
make sure you like it.
Mhm.
Okay. So, yeah, this is intermediate series, so it's already getting a little bit crazy. We've had some challenging poses already in intermediate series. And now this one requires you to kind of catch yourself in the air in an arm balance.
It does. But I'd like to point out too that what makes this pose for me challenging too is that you've just done series of back bends as well, like including like a very deep back bend. Everyone knows, even if you're not doing it, what Kapotasana is. And then you go into Bakasana, which is your spine's going into a completely different position. And so that itself adds like a challenge, never mind that your nervous system might be still a little bit shaky, and now you have to find balance as you jump.
But that's Ashtanga, isn't it? It's just kind of like, get over it, you know? You're like, oh, you can back bend? So what? Now do this. Yeah, so let's look at Bakasana first. Can we do the vinyasa count for Bakasana, A and then B?
Yep.
Okay, so from downward dog, of course, we go sapta, inhale into a squat position. Our teacher would say Pashasana position. And then Ashtau, you open your knees, put your knees in your arms, shift your weight into your hands, and then lift your feet up off the floor. And it's Nasagarai Drishti. And the gaze here towards the nose, you hold for 5 breaths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then Nava, exhale, jump back. Dasha, inhale into upward dog. Yekadasha, exhale, downward dog. And then we go B, Sapta. On the inhale, you bend the knees and you jump and you land in Bakasana. Same drishti. Hold Sapta for 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then Ashtau, exhale back to Chatwari. Inhale, Nava, upward dog. Dasha, exhale, downward dog. Okay, Jelena made it look easy. It's not easy. Not for most of us.
Look, I have my armpit sweat on my knees now. So I'm already working hard.
Yeah, if you're sweaty, and
I'm
if you're
sweating.
not wearing pants too, it can be pretty, if you rely on friction to keep you up.
Yeah, which is a good cheat.
Yeah, but it might not be available if you're really sort of,
If you're really
covered in
relying
sweat.
it,
Yeah.
then it's hard.
Yeah. So just for the vinyasa geeks, notice that on B, that the vinyasa count in, as you're jumping into the pose, is on the inhale. When you count the inhalation into the pose, that counts as the first of the 5 breaths in the state of the asana. And then Ashtau, when we jump out of it, is the last exhale of those 5 breaths.
So it's really 4 breaths
4 static
that
hold
we're
breaths.
holding it, which feel much, much longer regardless, but
Yeah. Especially if you're doing a lead class.
oh God, then it's not 4 breaths, then it's many, many breaths.
Yeah. But the issue isn't holding it. I mean, it can be, if it's a long hold or something, or if you're really sweaty. The issue is always jumping into it. You know, like when you're learning this pose, learning how to jump and not have the feet touch the floor, you go from basically zero. Usually when you're learning, you just can't imagine how it's going to happen. You know what I mean? And then over time you figure it out. Yeah. So let's look at what we're doing in it. So first I want to say, avoid the temptation of, well, I mean, there's all sorts of different ways that you can break this down, right? I'm going to come on this side. So you could take a bunch of little steps in, and shorten the distance.
Oh, I hate that.
I know. I wasn't going to let them stay there, but you could, and then do little hops, and then try to kind of work it back. But you're not really in the downward dog, right? And you could try to, slowly increase that space and jumping again.
But the reason why I never teach it that way, because actually makes it more scary. Because your distance between your arms and your feet gets shorter and shorter. So when you're jumping, it feels like you're gonna face plant much sooner.
Yeah.
Because the distance actually gives you space to stay nice and low.
Yeah. Well, I guess the idea is when you're closer, you're going to use less, momentum, less force jumping. So it's a much lighter hop, but you are going to have to teach yourself then to increase the force of the hop. So we don't usually teach it like that.
No.
If anything, I mean, we just try to get people to do it first to say we just jump.
Just something.
But if anything, we kind of suggest keeping one foot off the floor often. So you just get used to that idea of keeping one foot up. So you would also prepare yourself when you jump so that you're in a good position when you land. So here, we're going to shift the weight forward into the hands. Jelena's resisting through the hands, so she's not dipping the chest, She's pushing through the arms, front ribs in, and then she'll try to keep some of the weight forward in the hands when she bends the knees. And then she'll hop and keep the knees close to the body. And look, this foot just lightly touched the floor and this foot stayed up, and then she can lift that foot up to match. And the idea is, okay, you're not completely on your hands, but you're not really on your feet either. And you start to introduce that kind of confidence of jumping and supporting yourself more with the arms. Yeah. What I see people do a lot of the time is when they jump, they let the thighs come away from the body and then try to pull them in again, And it's like, that's scary because all your weight comes over, except then your legs have to come forward. You have to catch your legs in the air. There is kind of a way you can do it like that, where you stack everything and then slowly lower into it. But usually we only do that on Instagram. So if we're trying to get into the posture in the jump, try to hold the shape of the Bakasana as you jump. So you bend your knees here, and then you're going to keep the legs fairly close to the body when you jump. And you see, Jelena's hips didn't come super high. She didn't jump way up and then come down. They dip a little bit as she's getting ready, but then basically it's a straight line forward with the hips. His tailbone is down. She's going to bend the knees, and now watch the line of the hips. Not super high.
You know where we do that? We learn this when we do Bhujapadasana as well, in a way. This idea that when we're jumping, we're just going forward and we're not, there's no need to go up high.
Yeah.
So here, when we did this, to end up in this position, it's the same.
And you notice too, actually, the arms are a little bit bent when she does Bhujapadasana. Same with Bakasana even. She's not landing with perfectly straight arms. The bend gives her a little bit of purchase, something to land on. And then from there, she can kind of pull it all together and straighten the arms to lift in.
But at first, if you jump with the arms bent and your feet don't touch the floor, that also counts.
Yeah, any variation where your feet don't touch the floor counts. Yeah. But if your knees are too wide or your arms are too bent, it can be hard.
And then the big traditional cue is keep the feet together.
Yeah. Once you get into the
Once
pose.
you get into it. But I find that actually also useful as I'm jumping, because it kind of helps me, the resistance between my feet helps me connect to the core a little bit more.
There's something more fundamental, that's missing kind of in this breakdown, which when people can't do it, it's because their back is arched or flat.
Yeah.
Their hips are high and their shoulders are down, and they're not doing that pushing and rounding action. And you can see Jelena doing it, but talking about it is that it shows up all through the primary series. It's the way that you kind of balance yourself on your arms with the lifting action.
And we do that even when we're doing, the simple jump throughs and jump backs, but always do that, shift that weight forward, find that resistance through the arms, rounding your upper back. And then when you bend the knees and some of the weight shifts back, don't lose that action of resisting, because if you lose that, then you're going to end up here and you're going to end up kind of collapsing and not being able to catch yourself. Again and again, we keep saying for any arm balances, so much comes from your hands being really active on the floor, and focus on your fingertips too, because fingertips here will help you. If you over jump, they almost serve as like a brake to stop you or help you find balance.
I don't know.
Yeah, so stay low, chin forward.
Round back.
Yeah.
Tuck your tailbone.
Jump forward, don't jump up.
Okay.
Good luck.
All right. Let us know. Do you have some tips? Maybe something we didn't cover? Pillow on the floor. Someone's going to write that. Can I put a pillow on the floor? Yeah, sure. If you
I mean, there's no pillow in the shala.
Yeah.
But if you're at home, then for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, let us know. Okay. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.